Our next topic is log distance path loss model. It is same as path loss model, but we are going to use logarithmic distance to predict the signal attenuation. So this PL is your path loss model, and D, it is the difference distance between the transmitter and receiver. This D naught is reference distances, and 10 n log n is your path loss exponent. We have discussed in previous class. The n can be very minimal for line of sight propagation, and it can be medium for outdoor or terrain, and it is very high for indoor environment. So the formula for log distance path loss model is given, and the graph is also given. So when we are going for a path loss model, same thing we have discussed earlier. Reflection will be happening, and the conditions can be surface dimension is very large than the wavelength. You all know very well the millimeter wave, it is of very shorter wavelength, so obviously the reflection may not be a major cause for this. And coming to diffraction, so diffraction occurs when the wave bend around obstacles. You can easily see the diagrams. The emitter antenna, the shaded regions, there is no waves between the mountain and your receiver. The red color arrow marks are diffracted radio waves. These can be due to hills, buildings, and the important concept here is knife edge diffraction model. This is your knife edge diffraction. The diffraction loss is given by h into square root of 2 into d1 plus d2 by lambda d1 d2. So the parameters, h is the obstacle height, d1 d2 is the distances, and you can see the Huygens primary wavelet and secondary source is given. So this d1 and d2 are from the midpoint, and h is the height, and Fresnel zone determines whether the diffraction losses occurs or not. First Fresnel zone is given by square root of lambda d1 d2 by d1 plus d2. At least 60 percentage of clearance is required. That is 60 percentage of line of sight should be required to propagate this millimeter wave communication. And delay spread also measures the time difference between the arriving paths. So tau is T max minus T minimum, that is maximum duration a wave takes to reach the receiver from transmitter, and T min is the minimum time duration for which the same wave takes to receive the by the receiver from the transmitter. Maybe without any obstacles and with obstacles we can take. So the effects can be intersymbol interference. Other things are scattering. We know the scattering, the waves may get scattered due to different environments like street signs, lamp post, rough surfaces, and multipath propagation. These we have seen multiple times in the subjects, and this is one of the main shift, Doppler shift, that occurs due to motion. Whenever the wave starts transmitting, you can see the Doppler shift. Whenever the wave is at rest, you cannot see Doppler shift. When the wave transmits from transmitter to receiver, it may undergo some Doppler shift. The formula is v by lambda cos theta, where v is velocity of light, theta is the angle, and lambda is millimeter wave. And this Okumura model, we can mainly use this for short frequency ranges 150 to 1920 megahertz and distance between 1 to 100 kilometer. And we cannot use these models for millimeter wave communication. And this is Hatta model, empirical model derived from Okumura model, and the formula has been given here. This log F and log HT HR are the height of transmitter and height of receiver. COS 231 Hatta model. This is very important model. We can use it for millimeter wave. It is used for 4G dense urban regions, and since they have given 1500 MHz to 200 MHz, it can be easily suitable for sub 6 GHz also. And these are all the applications of these models: 4G, 5G, satellite, Wi-Fi design, cellular planning, and IoT system. And these are exclusively meant for satellite, smartphone, Wi-Fi, and IoT sensors. And in this slide we are going to see different types of attenuations. It is mainly small scale and large scale. In small scale we can see single input single output channel model and multi input multi output channel model. In large scale we can see empirical model, semi deterministic model, deterministic model, hybrid model. And large scale mechanism, we can use stochastic model. Here, empirical model, it is purely mathematical derived formulas. It is used for extensive field measurement and statistical data. Semi-deterministic model, these are used to combine empirical with simplified physical laws to balance prediction on accurate and speed of the signal. And deterministic model, this is applied exact physical laws and detailed 3D maps to calculate precise signal propagation. And if any two of these models are combined, it is called as hybrid models. And stochastic model, it is to treat environment variables as random process to model behavior using probability distribution. This is wireless channel fading. Based on fading, we can divide the small scale fading and large scale fading. This small scale is mainly time selective, space selective, frequency selective, and large scale fading is due to path loss and shadowing. We know very well path loss, we just discussed earlier, and shadowing, we know the shadows caused by building cells or trees. While coming to flat modeling, the channel changes rapidly within a single symbol duration within a fraction of second due to high speed movement, and the channel remains stable over multiple symbol duration. It is called as slow fading. And rich scattering, the signals are maybe diverse path and it is highly scattered, it is called as rich scattering. Only few obstacles exist, then it is called as poor scattering. Same for frequency selective. Different frequencies, if any one of the frequencies selected a different amount of attenuation, it is frequency selective. And frequency non-selective, all frequencies can fade equally at the same time. It doesn't depends on signal bandwidth or different amount of attenuation. So this log distance path loss, we have seen many things. So this is the principle of log distance path loss model. The log distance states that the path loss increases logarithmically as the distance between transmitter and receiver increases. After a distance d naught, the path loss is used to starting point for calculation, and this model assumes that signal strength decreases continuously with increase in distance due to propagation effect and environmental obstacles. This can help the engineers to predict how the signal is covered between different areas and how to optimize the antennas and how to improve the designs of wireless communication network. This is very important formula for log path loss model. So PLD equal to this, we have already discussed, PL D naught plus 10n log 10 d by d naught plus x sigma. This x sigma is zero mean Gaussian variable or shadow fading, and this d is the distance between transmitter and receiver. D naught is reference distance. Usually we can keep 1 meter for normal, but when we are dealing for a millimeter antenna, it can be around 1 millimeter. So this is the path loss component. This also we have already discussed. If it is free space, it is very minimal. Suburban, slightly increased, and when indoor and dense urban, it is highly increased. So the working processes, we can select some reference distance and we can consider it as the initial path loss, and we can measure the calculate reference path loss at the selected reference distance, and we can determine the actual distance between transmitter and receiver, and we can compare or combine these two to find the exact path loss in this model. So this is the graph of log distance path loss model. The relationship between distance and path loss has been increased, and these are all the advantages of log distance path loss model. It is simple and easy to use. It is suitable for real world environments and it supports wireless network planning, and it is flexible for different environments. It is very cost effective and time saving. So these are all the limitations. It doesn't consider fast fading. Accuracy depends on path loss component n. When it is going for indoor, it is going to be very heavy, and it is line of sight, it is very minimal. So it exclusively depends on the environment, and it is not suitable for highly dynamic environments, and it requires real world measurements. These are all the applications of log distance path loss model: cellular network, Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, Internet of Things, wireless sensor network, satellite and drone communication. So this is the major comparison of free space and log distance path loss. You can have a look on this. Here free space there is no obstacles, but here log distance we cannot have such cases. And free space n is fixed, but in this log distance n is going to be vary based on the environment, whether it is indoor, outdoor, urban, or line of sight. And free space path laws is mainly used for line of sight, and this log distance is used for all environment irrespective of its nature. And free space it is less accurate, log distance more realistic predictions. Free space is mainly used for satellite and open space communication. Log distance we can use it for Wi-Fi, next gen, and network planning communications.